You went to Catholic schools up until middle school.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Um, well, my classes, I went to like 3 or 4 different schools because my dad kept moving us around. Um, but I mean, my classes were always super small because it was like a small Catholic school in
Mhm.
Iowa. So, I mean, it was nice because I got to know everyone pretty easily.
Was this Greg or Brian?
Greg, I didn't meet Brian until I was 8 or 9.
Because he's your stepdad, correct?
Yeah.
What was your relationship with your sister Emily? Like she pretty like you not completely, but she kind of raised you.
Yeah, I mean, she took care of me a lot because my mom would work and she lived at our house when she was in college. At least when she got into her accident where she got oil poured on her foot.
By accident?
Um, she was cooking with Luke, her husband,
Oh,
and they went to go pour oil outside, like burning oil, and it poured on her foot, and she got like third-degree burns. So she had to live with us for a little bit. I always kind of like looked up to her, like she was like my model. Like I always thought she was so cool. Like I always wanted to be around her.
when did she stop? Like kind of, like in a sense, taking care of you? Like how old were you?
I feel like I don't remember how old I was. I feel like when she really like went off to college, so I was probably in like kindergarten because she like went and lived in a sorority.
You were probably like 10, 15 years old. Wait, you're 15 now. You're probably like 5, 10 years old.
Yeah.
What about your parents? Like, how good of a relationship did you have with Heather and either one of your dads?
Well, now I have a really good relationship with my mom. We're pretty open with each other. With my actual dad, Greg, we don't have the best relationship. We don't talk that much. But with Brian, we also have a good relationship.
Because I saw on Facebook he has like pictures of you and stuff. So I just because I didn't know if it was like you guys talk texted occasionally or. So that's not.
Yeah, I mean, we still like text and call occasionally, but we're not that close. Just because I don't really see him, because we live 2 states away.
When did you kind of like separate? Just like when like your stepdad came into the picture, or.
My parents separated when I was 8,
Mm.
and my mom, and my younger sister moved into an apartment. And my mom dated this one guy for a while after they separated, or not a while, like probably a couple months. And then she dated Brian for a while. But I didn't meet him until they were dating for a couple months.
Were his mom around a lot when you were like probably 10? When you were from like born to 10ish probably. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, I mean, we used to take road trips a lot because my mom wanted to get away from like the house. So we would all like take road trips a lot. She was around a lot more than my dad was. Yeah.
Could you explain more of that if it's possible?
Yeah, well, my dad was always like a manager or like the boss of like a store. He would always be off at work, and I didn't see him that much. Like sometimes he would work like 48-hour shifts, like so. And my mom, like, she like worked at a bar sometimes like at night, but she was around a lot. Like we always would go to like garage sale. She would take us out and do stuff like get pedicures, or we would all go on road trips to like New Mexico, or I think we went on a road trip to Oklahoma. Like I don't know, we went all around.
Try to spend as much time as you pretty much can.
Yeah.
What was your favorite trip, you think, like, if you remember?
Well, we went to Chicago one time. That was super fun because we went to like a fairy festival with I don't remember if my older sister was there. And we also went to New Mexico. I think we went to like, I don't remember where we went, but it was super pretty because we saw a bunch of attractions. In every trip we went to like a bunch of museums. It was really fun.
Was this before or after Ginger was around?
Oh, this was after because my sister was born when I was like 2.5.
Who do you think was around more often, like Emily or your parents?
I
By the way, just so you know, if I say something, accidentally insensitive, let me know. I just,
No, I don't get offended, really. But I feel like when I was younger, like two, I remember being around my sister a lot more, but I feel like that's because I really like looked up to her. And my mom had to take care of Ginger because she was a baby.
Yeah.
But as I got older, it was my mom.
Like, maybe it's a weird question, but did you ever have to, like, take over Emily's role with Ginger, or was it not really because you guys are basically the same age?
Not with my mom, but when I was at when I would visit my dad, yes.
It was mainly taking care of Ginger at your dad's house.
Yeah.
Like Emily said, he like didn't. It was different. Obviously, you guys have different relationships from your mom than when she was a kid and everything. But she said she was a little different. Like she had depression and all that. Like, do you think you're different than our kids, or like how can you if you understand that question?
Oh, well, I mean, I have diagnosed like major depressive disorder. Like, I mean, I have mental illnesses, but I feel like that's a lot more common now, so I don't know if I would say I'm super different than most people. I mean, obviously, it's like hard to deal with, and I feel
Yeah.
like some mental illnesses are a little more severe, but I mean, I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm super different. I mean, we all have different lives, so, I mean, a lot of kids don't have the same relationships with their parents that I do,
Hmm.
but yeah.
What did you say you were diagnosed with again?
I have major depressive disorder, I have bipolar, um, ADHD, OCD. Yeah.
Considering like everybody like in the Gen Z or even maybe a little bit alpha, everybody they kind of like everybody says, oh yeah, it's making up illnesses every day or something like that. Like, do you ever like get that by like when you ever actually say something about it, like you just told me?
I feel like, okay, because I'm actually diagnosed because I went to a mental hospital and they diagnosed me with this stuff. So I just don't really talk about it because I don't want people to think I'm like faking it. So I just don't really talk about it.
Do you mind talking about that a little bit? Like, what was your time in the mental hospital like? If you're okay with that.
Oh yeah. Well, it started off, I went to my school counselor because I used to talk to her a lot, and she asked me like, "Oh, if you had to kill yourself, how would you do it?" And I was like, I don't know. Do you know how you would do it? Sure. So I told her I would like go take some pills or whatever, and then she like called my parents, and and I was in 6th grade. I was like 11 or 12. And so she like called my mom. She was at work, so my stepdad picked me up, and they took me to the hospital to get like a psych evaluation, and they like determined that I should go to a mental hospital. So they had to put me in a cop car and drive me to the mental hospital because I wasn't trusted to not harm myself. I only stayed for about a week, and it was not fun. They didn't really give us toilet paper. Um, they gave us like really thin, gross clothes.
Or like school with toilet paper or nothing at all?
Nothing. I mean, sometimes
Oh,
if you like went
gross.
up and asked, but they had like cameras looking in the showers. People had to watch me use the bathroom and shower and all this stuff. Their food was pretty good, but like a lot of kids would get like sedated because they like wouldn't follow like they would like say no to showering or whatever, and then they would like the nurses would like call a code red, and they would like hold the kid down and put like sedatives in their butt like with syringes. um it was very surreal. I hated being there. But I was there about a week because they kept trying to medicate me, and my mom was like, no, she shouldn't get medicated, and then she picked me up.
Huh? Why would they hate if you didn't want to take a shower just because it was like a thing you needed to do, or what?
Um, yeah, you were forced to take showers, but they were very strict on everything you could do, and if a kid seemed like they were getting aggressive, then they would sedate the kids. But I feel like they kind of took advantage of that. Like they just kind of did it so that they didn't have to listen to the kid. it was very weird.
So you say no, you're basically attack.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Kind of like as you got older, like your age now. Ginger's like probably 13 if I had to guess, and Emily's in her 30s. Do you how like where in that like spectrum of like siblings do you think you landed on?
Um, well, I wouldn't say I really have like middle child syndrome, because in a sense, like I'm kind of like the oldest child in my household because my sister's 14 years older than me. But my mom doesn't play favorites really. Like neither my parents, like Brian or Heather, they don't play favorites, which I'm very lucky.
How come you're glad they don't play favorites?
So, like, when my grandpa Dowell, my mom's dad, was alive, he would, like, favorite Ginger very heavily, buy her all this stuff, and it really sucked from my point of view. And my dad, like, my bio dad, would favorite me when he was around. So, like, we both got hurt by being favorited, and it's just a lot better with, like, it makes you feel a lot better when you're both equal.
Why do you think like obviously people have their reasons, but like why do you think they were like you both got favorited like by different people?
Well, my grandpa, he wasn't the best to my mom when she was a kid, so I feel like he was trying to like make up for it in a sense. My dad, I feel like it's because he really wanted like a kid and I was like the firstborn kid. Um, he has told me that I'm like the favorite kid and I was like, "Oh, that's not okay."
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like it's just because I'm the firstborn kid. When I was little and I was really clingy to my dad and my mom, and Ginger was super clingy to my mom. So I feel like that's also what kind of brought it on.
But like like it because you're the because like you said you're the oldest pretty much, and like how come your grandpa was like spoiled Ginger when she was youngest, and not you? Like you got what I'm saying? Like you know.
When we were younger, like with like elementary school and some of middle school, I feel like he was really trying to like be there for her. Like, cause I don't know, my, like I said, like he wasn't great to my mom and he like left her when she was younger. And so I don't know, I feel like he was like kind of treating Ginger as my mom and trying to like make up for the fact that he wasn't there for her. And so he would like buy her all this stuff to make her feel special. But as we got older, like when I got into high school, he was a lot better. Like he would treat us the same. So
Because you're older, or why do you think?
I feel like I don't really know why. I feel like I made an effort to get closer to him. And I feel like me being older also helped because he might have realized, or my mom talked to him about him favoriting me or favoriting Ginger. So I feel like he might have realized that he was favoriting her. I don't know.
Since you were a kid, like, do you think your mom's like parenting style has changed? Because Emily, she like not to compare, but she had like a difficult relationship with your mom. How does it change for you since growing up?
Well, when I was little, my parents didn't have a great relationship, so I feel like my mom was angry a lot of the time, and I wasn't really close to my mom. But now I'm pretty close to her. She's like in a way better spot for her. She's always been really scared of me and my sister getting kidnapped and stuff, so she's always made us like stick together and like go everywhere together. And she doesn't like let me wear like crop tops or anything, which I don't really care about. Just because she doesn't want me to like become a target. I don't know. She's not strict, but she's kind of helicoptery, but only because she wants us to be safe. So it's not like bad helicopter. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did she ever like give you a curfew or anything like that?
I never had like okay. When I was younger, it was always like be home when the street lights come on. Um, like when I would like go out and like walk around with my friends in the summer, but she it always changes. Like sometimes she's like, "Oh, be back by 9:30, be back by 8, be back by 7:30, be back by blah blah
It
blah."
just depends on when she has up her mind.
Yeah.
I realize you have a boyfriend, which congrats, better than me. Uh, how did she feel about that when she learned that you had a boyfriend?
She, well, at first she was kind of like iffy about it because most guys our age are kind of weird. But I mean, once she met him, like he goes to our church, he does bands like me, so she really likes him actually, which is weird because she hasn't ever liked any of my boyfriends, but she really does like him. She thinks he's a good guy.
Like, was she strict by relationship? Like even after like getting to know him and everything.
I mean, she doesn't let us go in her, like my room. I mean, I'm not allowed to go in his room at his house. It took me like I think 6 months to be able to go over to his house. She was really like iffy about it at first, but I mean, she still kind of is. But my little sister goes over with me because he has a little sister her age and they're friends. So we all just go over and hang out. I'm kind of scared to ask her to hang out with him sometimes.
Who your sister?
I'm scared to ask my mom to hang out sometimes because I don't want to seem like weird. But yeah.
The last maybe 7 8 years. So like, because like that's kind of when you and me like we stopped seeing each other. Do you think
Yeah.
from like then? Do you think like you had a normalish childhood or like you had somewhat of like a normal childhood?
I feel like it wasn't normal. Like it wasn't like most kids my age because my parents got separated and we had to move into this apartment, and I just wasn't used to that, and I wasn't used to like not seeing my dad, and there was always a lot of drama in my family, so it was a lot, but I wouldn't say it was normal.
How would you like best describe it? Like, how did the beginning of like when you moved there and everything? How did the beginning of that go?
I wanted my parents to get back together really badly, so I would always be like, "Mom, can you guys get back together? Can you guys get back together? My birthday wish is for you guys to get back together." Um, like I just really miss my dad. Like I missed like having that family structure, but I mean now I'm really grateful that they divorced. They just weren't good for each other. Like they were both angry people. My mom isn't really angry anymore. But like they just always like butted heads a lot. They weren't good together. Like yeah.
Your mom and Emily kind of mentioned that your bio dad was trying to kidnap Emily. Did that ever happen to you?
Um no, my mom was scared that he was going to like try to pick us up from school and like keep us. I don't think he ever like kidnapped us.
Emily was like kind of lured, like with snacks, like saying like,
Was walking into to go to the front door, and my dad comes like almost like a horror movie, but not because it wasn't scary, but like from like behind a tree, and he's got like a snack cake, like Hostess something, he for me, and he gives it to me, and he was like, "Honey, like I miss you so much, and I want to see you and I want to talk to you more." And he handed me his phone number and I put it in my lunchbox. He like talked to me for a little bit and he was like you just need to talk to your mom about spending time with us, and she's just mad at me right now, and she's saying all of these bad things, and I'm a good guy and I love you, and stuff like that. And I just remember crying, bawling, because like that's my dad, and like he's saying all this stuff to me that he loves me and he misses me, and like I'm torn. I'm like, okay, like I'll put this in my pocket. And got out of school, my mom picked me up and we got a block from school, and she looked at me and she's like, "Emily, give it here." And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, "His phone number, give it here." She knew. It had been like 8 hours and she'd already known.
nothing like that ever happened to you?
No, he didn't really make too much of an effort to see us. And then he would like lie and say that my mom didn't let him see us, but she always let him like see us when he asked. So
At what age did you do you think that you actually you kind of came to the conclusion that yeah, it was they were right, they should have got and they should never have got, you know did this whole place in the first place,
Um, I feel like 10, like 2 years after they, or like a year after they separated, like I kind of like my mom would like tell me stuff about their marriage, and I was just like, yeah, they weren't the greatest together. I just kind of had to like get over not seeing my dad.
What was the process of meeting your stepdad, Brian, you think?
I feel like I was 9 because I think he like stayed the night one night, and um my mom, he didn't know that he was going to meet us because he wasn't allowed to meet us because my mom had to like get
Yeah.
to know him. Um and I don't know, I just remember like I woke up and I walked into the living room and I was like, who's this random guy on our couch? And I like freaked out. And I kind of hated him for a while. My sister loves him. But yeah, I hated him for a while because I was like, oh, he's trying to replace my dad, blah, blah, blah. But he wasn't.
When did you kind of warm up to him?
I feel like I really started getting close with him when I was like 11.
Going from pictures, you guys you're like you're like a real family and everything. I've seen from what I've seen on Facebook, not to stalk, but you know what I mean. Just so, is it how is the relationship now? Is it just more normal now?
Yeah, I mean, I've never like called him dad or anything, but I kind of think of him like, because I don't know, I think of him kind of like a dad, but I'm never gonna call him dad. I don't know. I mean, we're really close now. Like, I don't know. It's just nice to have him because he's always around. I mean, he contributes to us. He really loves us. Like, he's a good person.
He's the guy who kind of stepped up.
Yeah.
How does it feel like your oldest sister was born when your mom was 20, and then you came when you were four, when she was 14? How does that the age kind of how does that feel?
I mean, it just feels kind of, it's like kind of strange. Or not like, it's not strange, but it's just like kind of wild how my mom like had a kid at 20 and then had another kid 14 years later and 2 years after that. Like, I don't know. It's just like the age difference was kind of weird because it was like having like an aunt around or like another mom around.
Does it feel weird that that could technically be you in 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I do not want to be a teen mom or like I want to be very stable when I have kids. Like I really do not want to have a kid that young. I just don't want like to have my mom's life. Like I don't want to be like in an abusive relationship with a little kid.
Are you afraid that might ever happen to you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy to get in an abusive relationship. And I feel like it kind of like is a cycle in my family. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could happen, but I'm really hoping I just stay with my current boyfriend and go on, like, with life because he's like a good guy. So I don't want to like. I'm just scared of getting in one. Like, it's a fear that I have, and I feel like it could happen, but I just really hope it doesn't. And I hope I can be like financially stable and ready to have a kid when I have a kid.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it was definitely weird, knowing that your mom was it was out here at your age, having her own child.
Because I know like some older people who are like 19 around there, and I'm like, I can imagine having a kid when I'm their age. Like, because you're like just out of high school, just starting college. Like, I don't know how she did it.
What do you want your job to be when you're older?
I want to be a forensic psychologist. They're a psychologist, but they kind of help like solve crimes. Like they can like talk to all the people involved in the crime or some suspects and like they're kind of like a detective and psychologist and lawyer because they go and like talk in court and like okay because you know how people try to plead for insanity like in a crime like they can talk to people and see if like they're eligible for insanity, or they can like help see who did what in the crime or how people feel about it. I don't know. It just seems really cool because I've always wanted to be like a detective, but I like psychology and I've always wanted to be a lawyer. So it's like combined.
Do you think you're gonna go to college and go 4 years?
Well, I'm gonna start going next year because they have this program at my high school. Because there's a college right across the street from my high school, so I can go take college courses as a junior, and I can have my associates by the time I graduate. But I'm gonna get my PhD, so I'm gonna be in school for a while. But yeah,
Not that it goes for this topic, but like boomers, they think Gen Z's stupid. How does that feel like when you're trying to do something with your life?
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I mean, I kind of like understand what they mean with the like whole social media stuff because social media isn't the best. I mean, I
Yeah.
love social media, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not like the greatest for people. Like, I understand that, but it kind of like pisses me off when they're like, oh, like Gen Z can't do this, blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. I mean, like some of Gen Z is stupid, but some boomers are stupid. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's like people in every generation that aren't the best. So it's like, I don't know. They just, I don't know. It's weird.
And now that you're done, you have 15 seconds to share a company, a social of yours, just anything your mind wants. Go.
Okay, shout out to the people watching this channel. Shout out to Chester's Hot Fries or Bomb. Shout out to, I don't know, fast food restaurants.
And you're done. All right. Well, yeah, it was great having you. It's a cool seeing you after like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
It's like anything. If you know when you're older, if you want to come back on, I'd love to have you back on.
Okay,
Cool.
sounds good.
Yeah. Talk later.